What is up, my friends? The good news is your weekend has now officially started, as this is the Friday evening Anfield Agenda news roundup. I'm going to run you through Liverpool's pursuit of Marc Guéhi or Giovanni Leone. We're going to talk about Alexander Isak as he has taken another step towards joining Liverpool Football Club. Newcastle look like they could finally get a couple of strikers over the line. We're going to speak about Conor Bradley. We're going to hear from the manager ahead of the game against Crystal Palace this weekend, and a couple of other interesting bits and pieces, including a little bit on Harvey Elliott. Sound good? Well, we've a lot to get through, so I'm not going to hang around, but you know the drill. I want to know your thoughts. Do let us know in the comment section. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. The preview for the Crystal Palace game on Sunday will be out tomorrow morning, so keep an eye out for that one dropping. I'm going to record it as soon as I finish this one. Right, let's get going. So, we're going to talk firstly about Chelsea, because when we heard about Levi Colwill's injury, a lot of people are wondering whether Chelsea would perhaps go after Marc Guéhi. They do have a sell-on clause percentage there from when he was a Chelsea player previously, but Romano has said Chelsea have not activated any immediate emergency plan to try to sign a new centre-back after Levi Colwill's injury. The club has trust in their squad, he said, which is good news for us because it's one less barrier between us and a move for Marc Guéhi. So Vinny O'Connor of Sky Sports has said Newcastle are braced for Liverpool to go back in with another bid for Alexander Isak. And look, this could move quickly because Newcastle are now starting to make some headway in their pursuit of strikers. More on that in a moment. Paul Joyce has said there's certainly going to be a push to bring a defender in from Liverpool. They've been looking at young Italian centre-back Giovanni Leone. Inter are favourites for that deal, as I've previously mentioned here on the channel. There is interest in Marc Guéhi, but once again, the thought process here is that Palace would have to lower their demand somewhat. Arne Slot speaking about allowing Darwin Núñez to leave the club, and he said, "You don't talk about players that are not yours with regards to a potential incoming Isak. We are very happy with the squad that we have at this moment in time. Darwin might leave indeed, but things are not signed yet, so we have to wait a few days until it's signed." Basically, Darwin's leaving, and again, you would imagine that we aren't going to let another player leave without having at least the possibility of thinking we're getting one in the door soon. So speaking about Alexis McAllister and his fitness, because remember Alexis was playing a bit of catch-up this pre-season, he said he will be in the squad for the Community Shield on Sunday. He was out for 2 months or longer. He trained with us, played 30 minutes, 45 minutes, starting as possible, but not for the full 90 minutes. Speaking about Frimpong, this is what Arne had to say. "We definitely thought about the AFCON when bringing him in. It's partly why we brought in Frimpong, because he can play as a right winger. A maximum 6 games without Mo, but there's a lot in the Premier League. Jeremy can play out there, but it isn't the only option." Now, a little bit on Liverpool's, lack of pursuit of a wide player here. So Lewis Steele, speaking with our friends at Anfield Index, said, "Liverpool love Rio Engamoa a lot, so it seems unlikely that they would go for Bradley Barcola, especially at his price tag." Also, he said Malik Fofana was a player Liverpool looked at the beginning of the window, but that has now all gone quiet. He said, "I don't think Rodrigo to Liverpool will happen." I never got the feeling Rodrigo was a realistic one either, and I've mentioned that a couple of times on the channel, but it really does feel here for me like we know we're getting Isak at this point. Also, Lewis Steele, speaking with Anfield Index, said, "As of right now, there is no plan B in sight if Liverpool fail to sign Alexander Isak." And the reason there's no plan B in sight is because, let's be honest, we're going to bring in Isak as soon as Newcastle get a forward or two in, and today could be a good day on that front because they've got a couple of irons in the fire. David Ornstein has said Newcastle United considering a move to sign Samu from FC Porto. 21-year-old Porto striker, high among a small number of options to bolster their attack. No formal approach or guarantee it will happen, but the Spanish international is liked by Newcastle. Lewis Steele, again speaking with Anfield Index, was talking about Conor Bradley, and he said the concern around Conor Bradley remains his injury record. While they're not long-term injuries, they're all 3 to 4 weeks, which is still a worry. And I think that's a really fair point. I really rate Conor Bradley. I'm sure you guys really rate Conor Bradley, but it is fair to say he hasn't really been able to get a prolonged run of games under his belt without a niggly little injury, whether that's growing pains or whether that's something that's going to be persistent during his career. I guess we're going to find out over the next year or two. Right, also, Lewis Steele said Marc Guéhi is definitely still a viable option for Liverpool this month. As August goes on, it's possible that Crystal Palace might budge a bit on their asking price. And that seems to be where this is at. Now, don't forget, Crystal Palace today have their hearing with the Court of Arbitration for Sport over the Europa League. So that's been pretty much their full focus as a club over the last couple of weeks. Do I think this starts to gain momentum after the Community Shield? Yes, I do. Craig Hope has said, I'm told that Dango Otara's personal terms with Brentford will not be a problem. The reason that Craig Hope is talking about this from a Newcastle perspective is if Otara can be brought in to Brentford, then they're going to let go of Johan Visa. He said, now club-to-club negotiations with Bournemouth over a price and package. In turn, this could unlock Johan Visa to Newcastle. Also, breaking, Newcastle have started negotiations for Randall Kolo Muani. He is high on their list, reports Sky Sports Germany. So again, as you can see, Newcastle are moving here to try and bring strikers in, and strikers being the key word, not singular, plural. And Liverpool then will get their man in Alexander ISAK. Paul Joyce, speaking about Harvey Elliott and Spurs, has said Tottenham decided not to pursue Harvey Elliott after initial talks for the midfielder, which I think it's a bit of a mistake from Spurs, to be honest. Obviously, they know James Maddison is going to be out with that ACL and we wish him a speedy recovery. But feels like a £40 million, maybe they just don't like the idea of the release clause being in there and Liverpool could be adamant on that. I don't know, but there are still plenty of other clubs interested in Harvey Elliott and I still believe it is likely that he will leave before the window shuts. Now, back to Newcastle again. Juventus are interested in signing Sandro Tonali. Now, why is this important to Liverpool? Well, because they're going to offer Vlahovic as a potential swap deal and also Douglas Luiz or Nicolo Savona. So, you know, there's still maybe a bit of wiggle room there for Newcastle. The likes of Vlahovic in there as well. Like we said, Douglas Luiz could give them extra midfield depth. So let's wait and see which avenue Newcastle want to go down. But as you can see from this video alone, certainly plenty of irons in the fire there for the Geordies. Now, Ben Doak, let's talk about him for a minute. Leeds United and West Ham are both interested in signing the Liverpool forward, writes the newspaper whose name shall not be mentioned. It's understood Monaco and Bologna are also monitoring a situation. The Scotland international is believed to be searching for regular first-team football. Now, when I say the paper that shall not be mentioned, I don't mean the rag that printed all the lies about Hillsborough. I'm talking about, you know, the local newspaper who we're persona non grata to, so we'll repay that favour. Am I that petty? Oh God, yes. Yes, I am. Right, let's keep going. I'm in fine form today, folks, as you can probably tell, because it's the weekend. The Community Shield is coming up. The Reds are going to get ISAK soon. It's going to be tasty tonight. Hope you can join us. Don't go anywhere yet, though. Lots more still to come. But before I move in to speak about the likes of Visa and that, don't forget, if you want this news quickly and direct to your phone, sign up to the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp community. Scan that QR code on the screen and that will bring you right there. Right, breaking, this piece said, Newcastle are ready to finalise a deal with Brentford for Johan Visa. Understood the fee under discussion, said Sky Sports' Keith Downey, is around the £35 million mark, which is good news for us as Liverpool fans because that gives us a bit of wiggle room. Now, Adidas, let's talk about the Three Stripes who are finally back with Liverpool, and doesn't it just look great? Well, James Pearce has said record-breaking start to the new Liverpool kit deal. The home kit has outstripped sales of last year's launch by over 700% and orders of over 150 countries so far. We'll move on now to the club who've put out this statement. They said, summer signing Florian Wirtz is the #1 bestseller for name and number printed on newly purchased shirts over the past 7 days. This is followed by fans who want to honour Diogo Jota by having Diogo 20 printed on the back of their shirts. All profits from his name and number printing at official club stores via our official online store and Adidas online stores will go to the LFC Foundation, the club's official charity. The foundation has committed to creating a grassroots football programme in Diogo's name. So if you do want to treat yourself to a name and number on the back of it and you're thinking of Diogo, you know that that money that you're spending on that printing is going to the LFC Foundation to help good grassroots causes in Diogo's name. That is it for now, ladies and gentlemen. But the good news, at least I hope it is, I'll be back here tonight at 8:45. We'll go through it all in more detail. Tomorrow, we'll have a bit of a shortened day here on the channel. There will be a preview coming out for the Crystal Palace game, and I will either have a late video at about 9:30 or I will have a late stream tomorrow night. Bringing my son out for dinner tomorrow is a little weekend treat, so either be a late video or a late stream. But either way, I'll see you tonight. Much love, my friends. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. And don't forget, the Reds are in action on Sunday. We'll be starting here from 2 p.m. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff. and we get the season underway, hopefully with a nice little shiny trophy. Although I'm not going to lie, I'm not fussed about whether we win or lose it. It's all about the performance, seeing how the lads get on, and of course, fingers crossed, no injuries. We'll talk soon. Bye bye.